Welcome to the Nuff Said podcast. We are talking about, Season 2, Episode 5 of Agent Carter, The Atomic Job. And I'm one of your hosts, Rob Southgate, with me.
Jack Wengrosky.
And Alil and Jack.
Wow, we almost sounded like a news program there.
Almost.
The worst news program ever. All right, so I actually have very positive thoughts about this one, but I want to hear what you guys thought.
You know, I thought you had really positive thoughts myself. You know, it's funny you were thinking that.
Actually, you know what? I want to do something first. We got a couple of responses this week, and I want to address those before we jump into this episode. Because we tweeted out, I don't know if you guys ever look at our Twitter account, but I tweeted out, do you agree that something is off? Because we had that big conversation last week, right? And Fate the Man wrote back and said that, yes, he does agree something is off, and that it is the directors that are different, not the writers. They are mostly the same. So either one makes a lot of sense. We were saying it was the writers, but either one makes a lot of sense because new people can completely change the tone of a show, you know, and especially if it's new directors. One thing that I wonder is, and this might be where the actual problem lies, do we have a definite showrunner? Because like with, you know, everyone talks about like Breaking Bad, you've got your definite, you know, Vince Gilligan is your definite showrunner. Supposedly Joss Whedon was supposed to be the showrunner on Agents of S.h.I.E.L.D. He's not, but they do have showrunners. You've got his brother and his sister-in-law are the showrunners on that, but we don't know who the showrunners are here. I think they need the strong hand rather than just the studio running it. So that might be what we're experiencing. But cool. Thank you for writing in, Fate the Man, or Theman. I don't know. How do you say it? But Fate's one of our fans. We talk about him. His Twitter handle is the Spider-Man 360. That's who we talk about. Yeah, man, I just really appreciated him writing in and responding. The other thing is, did you guys see the poll I put out there?
No.
All right.
Dancing on it?
I said, yes, I was dancing on it. Yes. That's right, boys. Get your dollars ready. It said, what do you think is wrong with Agent Carter this season? We think something seems off. I put California, writing, story, or we suck. It's fine. Overwhelmingly, the people have spoken. We suck. So,
really?
Yeah, I put that out there, and I thought, I wonder if they're going to be talking about Agent Carter or us personally. If I put it here, we can say that it's Agent Carter. So, yeah. You know what? I think that the people have spoken. I think that we're just nitpicking, and I don't want to do that. And actually, I think this week was more on track. So now we can get into it. What do you guys think?
I don't know if we're nitpicking because there's already rumors of this show's cancellation.
Well, those rumors, though, you're talking about how she got cast in that other show.
Yeah.
Means nothing.
I
It
agree,
means nothing.
but it could mean something. You know what I mean? You don't.
Yeah, but this is a mid-season replacement show. They could do anything they want with her and have her be Peggy Carter for 4 weeks. You know what I mean?
That's true, and there could be other options that they're pursuing, but there was a lot of buzz online that this season did not have what last season did. So I don't
mean
think
as far as numbers or as far as what people like?
Everything.
Both.
Numbers. It started off out the gate slow. Like,
yeah, I don't know why, but yeah, you're right. It did. And it's still kind of like not happening. Something's not happening.
Right. And I think what we're hearing is much like us, we're going in and still seeing it and watching it, and we want to like it. And I think the people that are Peggy Carter fans are going to stay Peggy Carter fans. And I think that's kind of what we're hearing the response to is that, yeah, it's going somewhere else. We're waiting patiently, but we're just too big of fans to let it go.
Well, and I don't want this story to be over yet.
Well, I think it's just getting started. I think it finally just took off.
Yeah, I agree. Alil, you keep starting to say something and then looking at your...
I was tweeting. No.
I know exactly what you're doing over there. I've got a camera on you. And that is one heck of a milkshake dance.
Oh, I'm dancing.
Jack, get those dollars ready.
Hey, I'm just putting my pants back on.
We heard before.
Yes.
No, you are right. This last episode, I really think they got back on track, and we had some more excitement. We had a little bit better story, a lot more drama, I guess you want to, say with Sousa and everything. It was fun. And then on top of that, we got the first Avengers team, which was
Yeah.
really cool. And, I liked I can't remember her name now. What is her? Rose?
Rose, yeah. Yeah.
Rose.
She was great. In the preview for it, she was the one that made me nervous because I thought, I've liked her on the show, but I thought they're going to just be like camping it up with her. They're going to make some jokes. It's not going to work for me. No, totally worked for me. Bring her back. Loved her.
I thought she was better than Jarvis.
Well, yeah, Jarvis has become a caricature of Jarvis, but he was better this time. He was more Jarvis-y this time.
Yeah.
But you know what though? Like he was still hamming it up, and that was kind of a little bothersome. Like I didn't understand it. Like when he was doing, when he was locked in the room with the plutonium, and it's like, but you were a military man. You were, wasn't he like British Special Forces or something?
Yes.
So it's like, come on. I know, you've been with Mr. Stark for a long time now, and a lot of, lost.
Yeah, but last season we saw he could handle himself.
Right.
And this time it seems like he's like a puppy.
Right. He can barely knock on a door without hurting himself.
Right.
And I don't like that for him.
Okay. I do want to talk about something awesome that once again could have been a downfall of this episode, and instead it was a super highlight. When Carter dressed up and went to that office, that scene was fantastic.
Oh yeah.
When she's doing the American accent and he comes out and he's hitting on her, and then he walks away and he goes, "Agent." That was killing me.
Right. And that goes back to like the fun of the show. Like,
yes,
it was a little campy and a little corny and stuff.
That's okay.
It was a perfect amount. It wasn't Jarvis, bumbling around like Goofy or Jar Jar Binks. We don't need that for this show.
Well, what's funny is, okay, so last week we were talking about how, I kept talking about how I wished it was like noirish, right? And I wanted to take that bent. This one went a different direction. This was funnier. It had a better story, but it had that humor going. But you know what? The other weeks, the humor fell flat. It didn't work. It seemed jokey. This one seemed like it was in the world of Peggy Carter. And if this is the world they're going to do, I'm okay with this world. I wasn't okay with the, Family Matters world that they were kind of building before. Take that, Family Matters.
I Matters.
You like Family Matters?
Of course.
You're the worst. Jack, you don't like Family Matters, do you?
You guys are like 15 years older than me. Of course you don't. I was watching that.
I don't know. I like Arthur. That's a good show.
Was that the one with the Olsen twins? I forget.
No, that's
you don't make fun of Full House.
That's Full House. Yeah.
Yeah. I seriously, I don't know the difference. All of them are the same to me. So
they really are.
I enjoyed them all, but I want to really talk.
You enjoyed them all. There's no way you enjoyed those.
I mean, they were sitcoms. I didn't have a DVR. Like, you got them, you watched them, you're like, ha ha ha, that was funny, and then I moved on with my life.
No, that's when you get DVDs.
I miss Perfect Strangers.
Oh, your mom used to love that show. Do you remember I'd come over and your mom was like, "Have you ever watched Perfect Strangers?" And she'd be telling us like the whole story.
I do not remember that, but that could be like with Grey's Anatomy or anything else.
I just remember her like always saying how she thought that Balky was so funny.
So I love Balky Bartakamis.
Yeah. Well,
I love Baltaki, but it actually scares me that you remember his last name.
Beltaki. Okay. So the guy. Wait, I want to highlight another thing in the episode. So Ray Wise is the guy who runs that company, the one who was so funny in that scene. I love this guy. You guys know him, right? He's been in like everything, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Did you ever see, I'm searching for this show. He was on a show that Kevin Smith like either wrote or produced. I think he was producer, but I think he wrote the beginning or like the pilot episode, but it was called, Oh, I'm searching here. Oh, he was on Wilfred. That's a win right there.
Good show.
Yeah, you can't tell me that Family Matters is funny when a thing like Wilfred exists in the world. Reaper. Do you guys ever see Reaper?
I know of it. I never watched.
Jack, you ever see that one?
No.
Ray Wise plays the devil in it. And he makes this, he's reaping this kid's soul, or he's going to take this kid, like, gives his soul up to him so he can get the girl or so he can be a rock star. I don't know, just something, right? And, and Ray Wise, in order to make a deal with the devil, lets him be a reaper for a while. So he has to reap souls. And it's fantastic, especially like Ray Wise, man. Every time he shows up, it's like he's the character of the devil, but he is just like the most charming, funny, and then every once in a while, he turns bad. You're like, whoa, I'm playing with the devil here. But it's really worth checking out, man. It's a great show.
Huh. Sounds fun.
Yeah. So tonight when I'm watching him, all I could think of him was as the devil.
Well, speaking of the devil, what about, what's her name? The new big bad here, Whitney Frost. Like,
what do you guys think?
Man, I think she's gonna be a great big bad because near the end of the episode, Peggy goes to whip her butt, and all she has to do, Whitney just grabs her arm, and it's over. I mean, not only is it over,
how crazy was that?
But if it had been 2 more seconds, Agent Carter would have been absorbed, and it was, man, she was lucky to get away, and that, man, Whitney's like, she's all powerful now, and she knows it. And it's like, man, they're going to have to do a whole lot to keep her, in line.
Yeah.
It's almost that she's almost too big. I'm afraid that how are they going to contain her to keep her like in later episodes?
Well, you saw, did you not see the preview for next week?
No, I did not. Actually.
Oh, Jack, you missed it.
She's teaming up with Dottie.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Nice.
And at first I was like, what are they doing? And then as I was watching the preview, it turned me around. Where I was like, oh yeah, I'm into this. Yeah, bring Dottie in. She's a problem. This is good. It's kind of like the Thor Loki thing.
Right.
They team them up, let them fight the bigger bad, and then they can go back to having at it.
It's funny. It's much like a lot of upper management, if at least in the Army band, we would get these new officers that really didn't know what was going on, but they had all these great ideas that really have already been tried because that's why we haven't done it that way in 15 years. But you can't tell them. You kind of have to go through the motions. You have to kind of let it fail, and then they go, oh, you know what? Maybe we should do it the way we've been doing. And I wonder if that first episode with the new directors, maybe, that you were saying that it was just so awkward and they finally said, the writers kind of overcame that and now it's kind of got its footing.
Yeah.
Because, I think it was definitely a whole lot of setup and it had some really great action. It had that little mystery. They went in, they got the atomic bomb, everything that we were kind of hoping for. It really kind of had, but man, if Whitney and Dottie and the way it's going, man, I think it's just going to take off.
Yeah. It took 5 episodes, but we're here. I mean, I dug it. I hope they can build on this.
There's only 3 left.
I know, it's crazy.
No.
Well, and next week is a 2-hour one.
Isn't there 10 altogether?
Well, is next week's 2-hour considered, I mean, is it next week and then one more week and it's over?
Yeah, because S.H.I.E.L.D. is supposed to be back.
Oh, right.
S.H.I.E.L.D. is coming back March 3rd, so yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So the first and second episode were basically one episode. So yeah, by the time this thing took off, it's over.
Why are they doing 2 next week and then 1 hour the final week? That seems really dumb.
It's probably just the schedule.
Yeah, it might be something with TV. I don't know. I mean, maybe election coverage or something. I don't know.
Wait a minute. You're wrong, Alil. You're wrong. Yeah. There are... Oh, it's a 2-hour... Wait a minute. It's still weird. It's a 2-hour one next week, so it's 7 and 8 next week. No.
Right.
No. It's 6 and 7 next week, 8 and 9 on the 23rd, and then it says episode 10 is on March 1st.
Is it March 1st? But that March 1st is not a, oh, it is a Tuesday. I'm looking at the calendar wrong. 1, 2, okay. Then is S.H.I.E.L.D. coming back to March 8th?
I'm checking right now. This just in.
Well, it's good that we're keeping everybody well informed.
Right. Everyone's all like, we could look this up too. Idiots.
This is the magic of editing.
You know what? According to Twitter, we suck. So what does it matter?
Well, see, in the magic of editing, this whole section could be, I think that's, comes in on Tuesday. And then the next thing you hear is, yes, that's right, March 1st.
Yeah, right. It's actually March 8th. I just looked it up.
Oh, there you go.
So we're back at it March 8th, and we have 22 episodes total. Let's see, the 8th is number 11. Oh, so we have a nice actual, like an extra one in there. Little extra stretch. That's nice.
All right.
So, all right, cool.
Nobody's going to jump on that joke?
It's weird that they're not doing two. Oh, I'm sure people at home are. It's weird that they're not doing 1 hour next week, 2 the next, and 2 to finish it off if you're going to do that. Because like 2, and then 1, it's like a kind of a fizzle at the end, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you got me.
Strange. I
didn't really get the fact that they had the 2 hour episode 1 and 2. I don't get the advantage to that.
I think it's just timing. It's like Gallivant. Gallivant, they show 2 episodes a week. So it says there are, 10 episodes, but it only runs for 5 weeks.
Right.
So,
well, but that's a pattern. I get that.
But doing the first 2 is a pattern you see a lot. A lot of shows will do that. They'll do the first episode will be a 2 hour thing where it's episode 1, episode 2. But it's weird to have 2 hour blocks in the middle and then have a 1 hour one at the end. Just a little strange.
Maybe they'll just have like a little party with Peggy and she'll marry the scientist at the end or something because he's like re-solidified.
Hey, how cool was that when he got the black stuff? He got the black eyes like on X-Files, and then she was holding his arm for a second. That was pretty cool.
Right. Well, that's what set up the whole thing where, we've got to go to that other body because now he can feel where any of that energy is. He's locked in.
Yeah.
So, and then, of course, then they can figure out, okay, Whitney's going after the same thing. And, it was, it's like, okay, where are they going to go with that?
Yeah.
She's going to be power hungry the whole rest of the time. She's not just going to be absorbing people anymore. She wants to absorb more of that dark matter.
Yeah, right.
The end fight actually might be the scientist and her because they're going to be fighting over the dark because he's got dark matter in him.
Right.
Right. And I think there's like some draw to it too that I don't know if Whitney has the same kind of thing where I know she's locked into where it is, but is she going to have that same kind of draw? Like, it's like this thing wants the scientist back.
Well, it wanted both of them. It drew both of them there. So I think it's just, it wants to be whole, maybe is all it is. It's like the Iron Giant. It's calling all of its pieces back.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. So, I don't know. Are both of these guys both he and Whitney just going to be reabsorbed at the end? Or is it going to be like antimatter and matter?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, it depends on if they have plans for Madame Mask. If they're going to let that character, because they could very well just kill the character here, which I think would be a waste, but they could.
I don't know. I think she's gotten too powerful. If you let this go on, I mean, the reality is she's really just unstoppable now.
Yeah, but if they do somehow have the scientist, extract it from her, maybe that's what they'll do is have him sacrifice himself to extract it from her, and that ends his story. But she is scarred, which is how she becomes Madame Mask. You'll have one of those like at the end of Flash Gordon, she'll reach over and she'll grab you'll just see the hand grab the gold mask. And then, it'll say, she'll be back. Something like that. Or like at end of Masters of the Universe. You know how they did that?
So she's going to turn into Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yes.
Awesome.
When Frank Langella popped out of the water, that's what she's going to do?
Yes. Maybe that'll happen. She'll turn into Frank Langella.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Best show ever.
Has this show, have the Marvel TV shows, haven't they just kind of hinted at the characters? Like, it'll be like, instead of Madame Mask, she'll be like Mrs. Marauder or something like parallel to it. Will they actually give her the name, or will it just kind of stay in all these kind of this parallel thing so you can go in and out? You don't lose the rights to the character. I almost have this feeling that the pattern is we're using the MCU, but we're not going to let anybody use the names.
Yeah. No, you're right, Jack. It's like we live in this universe, but guess what? We're never going to speak its name. He who must not be named, kind of, that's what it feels like. I mean, the S.H.I.E.L.D. is doing a little bit better, giving us Daisy, but, they never really called her Quake.
Right.
They've said Nick Fury and Maria Hill, but those are their real names. So you don't hear much. It's always the big guy or, the flying out of the sky or the hammer or something.
Right. Yeah, it's like if they made a Fantastic Four movie, I have a feeling that ABC would call it like the Marvelous Four or something.
It would be better than the Fantastic Four movie.
It probably would. That's the sad part. But, I think I think they've learned their lesson in selling things off, and I think they're afraid that ABC will have certain rights if they use those names. And without they don't have to explain it to
Disney
anybody.
owns ABC. They don't have to worry about any of that.
I guess, but I don't know. They own it all. So, what other reason would there be other than legal?
No, it's right now the division between the television and the movie universe. Now they're headed by two different people,
right?
That don't get along. So I'm guessing that there is a bigger rift than initially thought. They initially planned it out this way, that they're going to do this, and then the rift started between the two, and then it was like, well, you play in your sandbox and we'll play in ours.
Really dumb, man.
Even what Charlie Cox something about this when they were talking about Daredevil playing a part in Infinity War or whatever. He made a drop that who knows if they would cast for the movie, which would be crazy. So because of the rift between the two, I really think that they're all of a sudden starting this division where they weren't initially planning it. I mean, again, the big push was it's all connected. They tweeted it. They had Nick Fury was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Maria Hill was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
There's a rumor that there's going to be another big one in the second half of this season.
And maybe there is, but then it's just weird that they don't name the characters. They don't say, hey, Captain America, hey, this, hey, the Avengers. It's always like playing in shadows. Like you don't want to say their names.
I'll have to pay attention to that because I thought they did. I didn't think that they did all the time, but I thought they did name check some people. I think that in this case though, like not naming Madame Mask, that's a little weird, but they did name Lash.
Yeah.
And as far as Quake goes, I don't know if like they're leading towards, in my opinion, I believe that they are leading towards that Secret Avengers or whatever group. And that's what they're going to do with Quake. And it's when that group forms, that's when we're going to get the payoff with the code names. That's when they're going to call her Quake.
Okay. Well,
I really do. I think that's where it's going.
I hope so. But, again.
Plus, they've already changed her name once. How confusing for the audience that doesn't know the Marvel Universe if they went from Daisy or Sky to Daisy. Now people are comfortable with that. Like, okay, she's Daisy. I got it. It's still Sky, but it's Daisy. And then all of a sudden they start calling her Quake. But if they use Quake as a code name when they're in the field and keep calling her Daisy, that would make sense. And once we form that group, that would be a legitimate time to do that. What's Lincoln's character? Who is he? He's an Inhuman in the comics. What is his character called? Lightning Boy or something, right?
I don't remember.
Yeah, he's got a name too. He's got a code name.
I'm just excited that Daisy will be at C2E2.
I was just looking at it. Yeah, Chloe Bennett's at C2E2. Are we going to try and talk to her?
I am.
I mean, are we going to try and do the press thing, like try to contact ahead?
I'm going to try to talk to Supergirl. I'm going to, Jack, you're missing out.
Yeah, no kidding.
What am I missing?
Sky is going to be at C2E2.
Sky.
Oh, man.
Supergirl will be there.
Yep.
John Cusack.
Edward James Olmos. J. August Richards. You know, J. August Richards, I talked to him a long time. I think it was in Des Moines. I had 2 conversations with him. The first one, I stood there for it was like 20 minutes. We're just sitting there laughing and talking. And then I walked by later and he called me over and we talked another like 15 minutes. Guy is awesome. But I invited him up to do the Geektastic Cage match with us, and he had a panel at the same time. He was like, there's no way. He's looking at his person. He's like, there's no way. It's just like, no, there is no way. So I'm going to send him a thing and see if we can't get him to come up to the cage match at C2E2.
Yeah, you know, I talked to him. I had a long conversation with him at Wizard World in Chicago 2 years ago. Like right when he came out as Deathlock.
Yeah.
Which is really cool, you know.
He's a fantastic guy.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm looking at
Jack. What?
What?
Yeah, it's like we're sitting here talking about C2E2 and also Jack's like, let's get back on track.
Well, you don't want to? That's fine. I mean,
no, I want
anything.
to. Let's do it.
I just thought that was a weird interjection. So I'm looking at Cosmic Book News and trying to find some of the rift between the TV and the movies. And then there's an initial report that Feige vented his unhappiness to Horn and Disney CEO Bob Iger, which means Feige will report to Disney studio chief Alan Horn instead of Perlmutter.
Right. That happened right after Avengers 2. Right.
And they're, according to Johnston, he's saying Avengers 2 is a failure because of Kevin Feige. The Avengers Infinity War Part 1 and 2 will have productions $500 million. Disney is laying off Marvel TV employees connected to Perlmutter. They're canceling the Inhuman movie. Marvel Studios are interfering and stopping the Iron Fist. But
no, that's not. None of that happened though. Iron Fist has gone straight ahead, and Inhumans has not been canceled.
Well, right. That the blogger from Forbes has said this is all a bunch of BS and rubbish. That this was all like a late night Comic-Con conversation at a bar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So maybe they call it the Civil War at Marvel. It may be just happening between the bloggers. But yeah, there definitely is. There definitely is some sort of disconnect. I think people are making too much of it, but there's something there.
Right, but there was an official announcement that Feige would be reporting directly to the Disney executive, and Ike would only be heading up the television part. Right. So there was that was brought up because Ike initially handled everything, and it looks like that there was a rift because of Age of Ultron. But again, I don't believe a lot of that was talked about, but I do believe that there's some kind of rift because there was budgeting issues with Age of Ultron that they were talking about. And even Joss Whedon said stuff about that. They made him take things out and put things in that he didn't want, but they also didn't give him the initial money that was promised.
Huh, interesting.
Well, it also accounts for the fact that there's not such a tie-in that was promised between the TV and the movies. Right. And, you know, if you avoid names and the characters, then you don't have to worry about history and pre-story and all that. And to me, I think that's the main reason. If you just avoid it all, you don't have to worry about any conflict about some character that, you know, all of a sudden they decide that's going to be in the movie. You know, and so you can't name all of them. So if you can't name all of them, why name any of them?
All right. Makes sense.
Nuff
said. End of the show.
Good night, everybody.
Even though we didn't talk about Agent Carter.
We did.
Actually, I'm not done talking about Agent Carter because I want to talk about her getting Rybar through the side. What the heck, man?
Yeah.
That was pretty cool that like the stakes were high enough that I thought, okay, she's going to fall off the thing and she's going to land and then be like, oh, Jarvis will help her up. No, she had a piece of rebar sticking out of her side. It did miss everything vital. So she was awfully lucky. But I also liked, well, I didn't like when we had the whole proposal thing. I think that's kind of like injected. It's a little lame. And then she realized that he was in love with Peggy and that's going to mean their marriage is off and he'll go back to New York with Peggy and the crew. I mean, you know where it's going, right?
I don't know.
Maybe she'll turn into a bad guy though. Like she's jilted.
Yeah. I mean, she had that kind of like, she had that dotty look at the end. Like, she was the kind of the house mom, the happy nurse. And at the end, she had that look in her eyes like, I know what's going on. I'm not stupid. But I don't know. I like her character, and I think they'll actually strengthen it. But I don't like the fact that, those Agent Carter and Sousa have never really connected. There's this.
Right. We had that tease all of last season, but this season it's been very strange.
Right. Well, I mean,
it's like a forced relationship this season.
Right. And we kind of know it's there, and they're overplaying it. But, man, I think, they've got a great character in her. And maybe they just woke her up, but I think they could do something more with her.
Yeah.
And, okay, hey, look, nothing's going on with us. I care a lot for Peggy. However, I think they'll kind of go on, but I think she'll be what's the night nurse? Could she be like the night nurse?
You mean for that time period?
Yeah, I mean not like some sort of parallel.
Yeah, I don't know about. Well, yeah, maybe.
Because Peggy was all about, you can't involve the police, and she seemed remarkably able to move, like basically the night that it happened. They packed the wound.
Yeah, right.
She's
like when she got up, she's like, "Oh, I wouldn't move." I'm thinking, I wouldn't move for a month. The hell.
I cracked a couple ribs in a martial arts class. I couldn't roll out of bed for days. She just had a rebar thrust through her side. Whether it hit any vital organs or not, it's like, man, this is serious trauma. And she's like,
although she is tough. She is Peggy Carter.
She is.
Had paper cut, and I didn't move for days.
Right.
That's because I'm a wimp,
Right. Yeah.
When I get a paper cut, I pour lemon juice on it.
So
just
tough,
for
Jack.
fun.
So
I know.
tough.
You're a man's man.
Wow.
I'm like a superhero, right?
You're my superhero.
Something like that.
Oh, there go the ratings.
So yeah, I mean, I think that's really all I wanted to get out about it was that the couple of things that I thought were really good. I did enjoy the pacing more, and I enjoyed the thing that I was so nervous about was that Avengers team, and then I ended up loving it. I loved that scientist. I loved all Rose. I thought it was great.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a good there was enough said type joke in there too, which I appreciated. Howard has a Woody.
Oh, that was funny.
I was like, hey, did we write this?
Yeah, and they didn't even respond to it, but they did kind of have that little pause.
There was that brief pause, which was excellent.
The only thing they didn't do was just look straight into the camera. Like,
they're waiting for Deadpool to do that.
Deadpool.
So that was another poll we took was about the Deadpool thing, and overwhelming, we are supposed to see it and review it. I think we talked about that last week. When are you seeing it, Jack?
It's, when I have to, I guess. It's a busy week. I'm, doing West Side Story and all that, but I'll, you name a date, I'll make some time.
All right. I'll have to talk to Martha because I don't know what our schedule is like, but if nothing else, the latest I'll go is Tuesday.
All right.
So
mark your words.
That way we can talk about it next week. Alil, you're going to see it this weekend, right?
Yeah, I'm seeing it tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, tomorrow.
I'm surprised you haven't already seen it. I thought, what is it? Now that, things open Friday, so they play it at midnight on Thursday.
They play it 8 o'clock on Thursday.
8 o'clock on Thursday. How were you not there at 8 o'clock on Thursday? That boggles my mind.
Well, because I got a text that you couldn't record yesterday.
Yeah, Jack. Your fault.
So it's my fault. I see. Okay. Yeah. Shifting the blame.
I don't like seeing movies on weeknights where I have to work the next morning.
Right.
Yeah, okay. I just thought, you've been so waiting for this that it wouldn't matter. Like, you'd just take some caffeine pills in the morning and just go see the movie.
I'm an old man now, man. I can't do that anymore.
Right.
You're an old man.
He falls asleep in things. Haven't you heard him? Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I've got shirts that are older than you, and I still wear them, which is sad.
They're midriffs.
No, they're tank tops now. Or not tank tops, they're half shirts.
Yeah. That's a midriff, right? Is that what they call them?
I don't know. You lost me on the technical terms. I don't know what fashion. I know shirts, pants, socks.
He says relax.
Right.
It's all good.
Good. Jack still has that. Yeah. So, what else? There was other Marvel news this week. Well, the trailer for X-Men came out.
Yep.
The new trailer. Holy crap. Holy crap. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I am so sold on this at this point. I was sketchy because of those pictures that had leaked. And I hate how all that stuff leaks and it gives a false impression. And you're like, I'd rather wait until we're closer and see what the studio really wants you to get a visual of. But unfortunately, we live in a world where all that stuff leaks out there. And I think that kind of did a disservice to the excitement. But man, it's right back on track for me.
No, you know what, though? No, it wasn't a leak, though. It was the Entertainment Weekly cover where he still looked terrible, where he was still that bright, weird purple.
Yeah.
Not look right. So I do think that there was some fix post filming of this.
So you think that it wasn't so much a mistake? Because I was thinking it was a mistake. You're thinking, no, this is what they actually thought they were going with and realized, ooh, man, backlash. We better change this.
Yeah, I do think there was some altering, or it is an evolution in the movie, and we just got that one version of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, regardless, they got it right now.
Yeah.
I think it looks really great. I was excited through the whole preview. Like when Olivia Munn cuts that car in half, I was like, this is awesome.
Did you see that little behind the scenes thing? I posted it on the League Geeks page, but with Olivia Munn and Ryan Reynolds.
No, I don't think I saw that.
Where Olivia Munn has been really, really showing off her sword skills because she's been really practicing this. So there's this scene like she's outside and she's twirling her sword around like all crazy. And then there's Ryan Reynolds there, Deadpool, with a blow up sword, and he kind of.
Oh yeah. I didn't watch it. I saw the picture of him with that like green blow up sword. Right.
It was pretty funny. Yeah.
I'll have to check that out. Yeah, I didn't watch that one.
You got a Civil War Super Bowl trailer as well.
Yeah, no kidding. And we had that Coke commercial that at first I was like, what is this stupidness? And then by the end I was like, it was nice to be in that world. I love seeing Ant-Man running around with the Coke. I just kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah, I was wondering if it was canon.
Yeah, I wonder if it is, because it sure looks like it.
It's like, when did Ant-Man and Hulk meet? I don't know. We'll have to figure it
out. You know what? When somebody builds a timeline, they should totally put that Coke commercial in there.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. Yeah, did you read that about Deadpool? So Deadpool 2 is already in production, or they're starting production on it. What a shocker, right? But the guy who made the film was saying, my dream would be to get the Hulk in the next one. Okay, dude, you're not getting the Hulk in the next one. I don't care what kind of deals Sony and Marvel make. You're not going to get the Hulk in a Deadpool movie. It's not going to happen.
I don't know. You get Wolverine's rights for Infinity War. I think maybe more. Even a quick little 5-minute fun cameo thing, maybe.
Well, as long as he's not involved in the mugging to the camera stuff, then yes, that could be. But if they're going to play it off and have him, in the comic relief category with Deadpool, I think it's going to fail. That's the only thing I'm nervous about with this. I know it's getting great ratings. I know people are loving it. I'm just nervous about this fourth wall thing.
It's because you're old. That's why. You didn't grow up watching Saved by the Bell like I did, where Zach Morris broke the fourth wall every week.
I hate that. I hate that. That's garbage.
I do have a spoiler. I saw the leaked second end credits teaser.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Should I talk about that?
Sure. You know what?
It's already leaked. So.
Yeah, it's leaked. I mean, if you don't want to hear about it, this is going up tonight. So stop listening or mute and come back in a couple minutes.
Yeah, it's funny if you enjoy it.
Is it a spoiler that ruins anything, or is it just like...
No, it's just funny.
Okay.
So do you remember the end of Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
Of course.
That's the scene where all of a sudden Deadpool comes out in a bathrobe and he's like, what? And then he drops in. What did you think? It was.
Hopefully we didn't lose everybody. Hopefully they'll come back. They'll go, oh, that was only like 30 seconds. Big deal.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm telling you, the hype level is definitely starting to kick in on it. But then it's that same thing like X-Men, my hype level. Now I'm ready for it. Now I'm looking at the calendar going, all right, how long until this happens? How long until Civil War? I'm ready for all of it. Man, Guardians 2, do you see even the logo came out for Guardians 2 and I was like, it looks like the other logo with a stupid thing scrawled. It's still awesome. Can't wait.
And the bridge that blows up in Apocalypse is even better than the last bridge that blew up in Days of Future Past.
Yep.
I just got to say that.
Yep. I love the ending when you see Professor X with the bald head. I was like, yes. So awesome. So awesome. What do you think the chances are that they will get Wolverine? The right move would be, since they are going to recast Wolverine, have Hugh Jackman play Wolverine one last time in Civil War.
Yeah, and I think he would do it. You know what I mean?
I know he would do it.
He would be all for it. Like he would say, they keep talking about Wolverine 3 is the last Wolverine appearance. Well, if you say, hey, come into Civil War 1 and 2, and I think it's a done deal.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah. I never say never with something like that.
Yeah,
it's like Downey said he was done, and he's far from done.
Especially if something happens during Civil War where Wolverine gets killed or destroyed or whatever you want to say, and then you have this complete reboot. And then when the reboot happens, it's like Doctor Who. It's, well, he's back, but he looks different.
Well, one of their ways around that is the fact that if he goes in Civil War and they kill his character there, even though he would come back because that's what he does. Because of what they've done in the X-Men universe, at this point. So whatever happens, it doesn't affect the canon that they're establishing over there at all.
So you're calling it a different universe. You're not calling it like a regeneration.
Correct.
Okay, right.
I think it would be an interesting tie-in to the other universe where you could say, oh yeah, everything that happened in those first 3 X-Men movies, that's tied to this universe. But from X-Men First Class on, it's changed. It's gone.
Yeah, I could see it going that way. I think it's difficult for people to do that in the movie genre, whereas in the comic genre, you can have those parallels.
And I thought it was garbage, but I'm actually kind of excited about it now. Now that they've done that Earth 2 thing on The Flash, I think...
Oh, man, that's awesome.
I know, it's so freaking awesome. I can't wait.
I can't wait to meet Earth 2 Alil. I hear he's great.
He's awesome. I can't wait to get rid of Earth 1 Alil so I can trade him up for Earth 2 Alil.
She's married to Earth 1 Alil and not Earth 2 Alil.
Yeah, well, she drew a bad straw there.
She did.
Oh, man.
That just killed the conversation.
All right, that's sad.
You know what's funny? That we don't have a multiverse on here. On This Week in Geek, we have a multiverse started. We have various Alils, various Edwards. Nothing here, though.
Yeah.
Lil on League of Geeks.
Geeks, yeah. You know why? It's because there's only one Jack, and we cannot take more than one Jack.
Jack is the constant. That's the one thing. There's got to be a constant across all universes. There can only be one.
I universe just as I am.
Just as you are. He's the Dr. Manhattan of our universe, of the Nuff said universe.
Nice.
All right. Are we done?
I think we're done.
When it starts going into that.
Yeah, but we were done in the first 5 minutes, so what does that mean exactly?
Yeah, but you know what? And now we expanded it to about an hour, so I think we did pretty good.
Well done, boys. All right. Let's wrap it up. I'll give your information.
All right. You can follow me on Facebook and all these other places at the League of Geeks podcast. Also on Twitter at LOGEEKZ. And again, that is Geeks with a Z.
Excellent. And Jack?
I'm at J Wengrosky on Twitter, and you can also check out The Blacklist, one of our other shows on the Southgate network. And I'm going to leave it at that.
All right. And you can find me, on tons of shows. And my Twitter
Walmart.
My Twitter is at Walmart. Yes, I'm the guy in the thong in cowboy boots checking out at Walmart. And you can find me on Twitter at @Southgate. This show tweets from Nuff Said Pod. And we've just got a ton of different Twitter accounts and that we're always doing stuff from. We also have an Instagram for Nuff Said. And you know what? Probably the easiest thing, if you want to follow all the Nuff Said stuff, go to our website, southgatemediagroup.com/Nuff Said Podcast. And I've put the Instagram feed on there. I've put the Twitter feed on there. We're going to add Clamor to it. We're going to have everything in one spot. So it's a one-stop shop for you. And we're actually working on a couple of other cool things that we'll be expanding that site soon. And I think that's it. Oh, if you do want to support us, you can donate through the website. We have not taken down the Patreon, although we have not updated it. We had gotten rid of Patreon, but I think we're going to bring it back. I'm not sure how we're going to handle that. So stay tuned for that. If you'd like to support us, like I said, you can always do it through Patreon, or right now, probably the better bet is just donate directly. Go to the website. There's a button there. And that really helps. Please rate us and review us on iTunes and any other directories that you happen to use. You know, who really helps. Even just giving stars helps. 1 star, even that helps. Believe it or not. It tells us to get rid of Jack.
I'm a constant.
He's the constant. I think I'd be gone before you, Jack. All right. I think that's it. One last thing. If you're in Chicago for s2e5 this year, Saturday night, 7:45, we are doing the Geek-tastic cage match. Jack won't be there. Charlie and Phil from the other feeds will not be there. But Alil, myself, basically the team from This Week in Geek, and a whole bunch of other podcasters and entertainment people are all going to be there. It's going to be a blast. So if you can make s2e5, come see us at the Geek-tastic cage match Saturday night, 7:45. That's it. I got nothing more. Enough said.
Enough said.
Good.